Okay, so we don't want that. We also want to make sure that the handle functions well. Okay, like a little itty bitty strap like this on a big cup is probably not like that's going to be really difficult to hold, right? So we want to make sure that when we're putting handles on cups or on your cylinders, that for one they
Sorry, I'm
Are you
trying
okay?
to close it. Yep.
that they fit well, that they don't look like a huge ear sticking out the side, because the bigger the handle is, okay, if like my fingers here are the handle, this part, if that's the handle, the farther away from your hand, physics says that it's heavier the cup gets. Okay? The closer it is, the closer you are to center of mass, the lighter it is. Okay? So we want to, like, a couple things. We want to make sure that your handles are comfortable and that they're not too big. Okay? So today I'm going to show you a few different methods. First off, I'm going to show you the traditional pulling of the handle. Okay? And then I'm going to show you more hand-built styles. Okay? So the traditional handle is made by stretching the clay in your hand and stretching it out. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use a bit of clay. I've got a piece here. I'm going to create a carrot with it. Okay? Like that. All right? And essentially a lot of ways this is like milking a cow. Okay? Without the cow. So I'm going to hold it. I'm going to make a bone, I guess, up here. I'm going to dip that part, and then I'm going to basically grab it like this and stretch. But I'm not going to like grab it too hard. I'm going to kind of like ask it to move, not like force it to. So if you notice, I'm turning this around. Because when your hands are like this, there's a wide spot and a narrow. Okay, so in order to get that handle to be consistent on both sides, you want to turn it back and forth. Okay, like this. Oops. See, clay is stretching out. Now, that's a flat handle. I could totally use that. I can flatten it out a little bit more by running it between my fingers like this. Okay, that's kind of neat. So we're going to call that a basic handle done. Okay, would cut a bit off, and then you would take it, slip it, score it onto your cup. And the cool thing is this clay will stick to like these buckets or pails because the pail is non-porous. Okay? So you just nip that off like that, and there's a handle. Okay? So that's one. So I'm going to do another one here, another pulled handle, so I can just continue right on through. Another method. Another step. You see, you look at this one, it's kind of clunky, right? It's got kind of like hand marks on it. It's not pretty. Okay? So we're going to try to make it a little bit more pretty. All right? So stretch the clay out. Can't tell you how many handles I've made. Thousands and thousands. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and lay it out on a table or something like that, some smooth surface, cut it off, and then go to my next one. Okay? And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to let this one kind of dry up just a little bit. Just enough that the slip that's on the edge from me doing it, or on the surface, is going to dry up enough so that like when I touch it, it doesn't leave finger marks. Okay? And then I can take that and put that back on, and that's kind of nice. All right, so then the final method for pulling a handle, I'm getting a little small here, we can start adding a little bit of decoration to the handle. Also, I just want you to know, I mentioned I do this, I've done 1,000 of these, right, or 10,000 or 20, I have no idea, thousands. You're gonna break a whole bunch, okay? So I'm gonna encourage you to, if you have 4 cups, I want you to make at least 8 handles, okay? The first one, you're gonna wanna use it, it's not gonna be pretty, okay? Go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. The more you do, the better you're gonna get at it. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up this way so you can see. I'm going to use my thumb here, and I'm going to create a little channel, back and forth. Smooth it out. Okay, now when the handle is made, you've got a little bit of a ridge there. Okay, and that little bit of a ridge, the glaze is going to act differently. So if you look at the handle, this is a strap handle, this is a pulled handle on top of this lidded form here. That, you see how the glaze kind of breaks on it and you can see like little brown? That's what will happen on these, okay? So just having a little bit of a ridge on the top, like that, will give you kind of also an area for your thumb to sit when you're holding onto your cup, okay? So, something like that. Okay, easy. Those are easy pulled handles. Not going too in depth with it. Now I'm going to show you some hand-built style handles. So, grab some more clay here. Now you could make a slab handle by rolling a clay out, and you could cut it. Okay, and have like this long, absolutely long rectangles, and simply stick that on. Okay, I do have a cup over there somewhere up on the top. I'll show you. They're not really nice handles. They're not pretty. They're just like get her done kind of handles. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you not to do those. But if that's what you have, then that's what you have. Okay. Get some clay out. I want to show you how to do formed handles using these. These are texture tiles that I bought. They're just wood, but they've got these like ribs on them. Okay, we're going to use these for some. We're going to do some other methods. Okay. Board's got some boogers on it. All right, so the first one, we're going to start out with a coil. Remember when you're doing a coil or a snake, right? You start out at your fingertips and you rub to the end of your palm like this, nice and easy. If you're pressing too hard, you'll get an oval, like flat side, right? And then you get frustrated. So nice and easy, working your way back and forth. All right, so we have a simple coil. All right, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this end at an angle. Okay, this one's called a dog bone. I'm going to cut this one at that same angle. Okay, so angle, angle. Makes sense? Angle, angle. Okay. And then I'm going to take like a couple fingers just in the center part and kind of roll this center part just enough to kind of like make it a little thinner. Okay, see that? It's a little thinner right here than it is out here on the outside. All right. So now the hard part. I'm going to put this down so that my angle is cut. I suppose you could do this after. You could cut your angles after too. I just do it like this. So, but I'm going to take this and kind of give it a slap like that. Okay, now I've got a flat side and a rounded side. All right. And actually, I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit. There we go. A little wider than I'd like. The nice thing about working a handle this way is you don't wet it. And so you can actually use your fingers and thumbs and whatever to get it to go, okay? I'm going to recut this angle. Since I smeared it a little bit, recut this angle. Remember, your angles are at the same angle, both ends. All right, we're going to poke this end in here, going up like that, nice and gentle. Work it around. Remember, slip and score, right? Slip and score both sides. And then I'm going to bring this around like this. Gently work it around. And we've got our bottom. So, kind of finagle this. Your handle should look like an ear. Like it really should, like from the side, right? So that's an easy, like really simple, call that a dog bone handle. Nothing super special, but it works, okay? All right, so another similar method is using, using your coil again. This time I'm going to make the coil thicker on one end and thinner on the other. Okay, so a little taper. So I'm going to hold my hand at a taper, pressing down more on one end than on the other. There we go. Okay, so thicker at the top, thinner at the bottom, like a tornado. All right. Then I'm going to take my board or a tile or something like that, and I'm going to simply press at an angle one side. I'm going to press at an angle the other side. Come back and do it again here. Kind of work get the right angle that you like. Here we go. All right, now we're kind of elongated here. I was a little wide at the very top area, so I can kind of come back and fix that a little bit by just kind of giving it a tap. Okay, now I've got this simple, like this just has a spine, we'll call that a spine in the middle, right? But we can add another bit to that. If I line this up and I take my board and I put it right on the spine and just give it a little rock right in the center, now I have some decoration. Okay, it's small, but the glaze will love it. Okay, the glaze is going to break on that and you'll have different values. So, here I go again. I can cut it at an angle and do this kind of handle. I can cut it flat, straight up and down, and put it in like the first one. So, that. Bring it down. And then I guess, it's up to you. What do you want to do with this tag end? Like we can cut it off square, we can kind of pinch it out, smaller, thinner. I know some people will, and this one's not going to work with it, but they'll roll it up. Okay, so you have this little like rolly decoration. I'm not a huge fan of those personally, but if you like it, cool, I don't care. Cut that tag end off like that. Okay. Some people do what they call a fishtail. A fishtail is you take this and you smear it out that way, and you smear it out that way. Okay, that's a fishtail. All right. Mermaid tail, whatever. All right. So along the same idea is this last one that we did. Again, it starts out with a coil. Am I boring you?
I'm just hiding in my sleeper tonight.
Oh.
Fucking dog woke me up.
The dog did, huh?
Yeah.
That sucks. Okay, so I'm going to take this tile that I have. It's got the ridges. The first time I used the other side, I didn't have the ridges. But if I run this across, okay, now I can make kind of a twist. Okay, that's kind of neat, kind of easy. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Going. There's that. If I run this one across it this way, I get a different pattern, more of an X pattern. Make sure I'm not running them different. There we go. Okay, so now we have kind of an X pattern between the two, right? So, and then I can come back in here, use this, press them down if I want. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I kind of messed it up here. I'll show you this way. I'm using the spines on the ribs, and I'll press down that way. Press down this way. Now this has all kinds of patterns, right? I just did